In this recording, we are going to discuss question number 8 in the CTEC Mathematics Practice Paper 1A with the use of AI. So first, let us read what it says. It says, how much simple interest is due on a loan of $120 for 2 days if the annual rate of interest is 5.5%? Okay, so that's 5 and 1 over 2, that's 5.5%. So let's read this again. How much simple interest, so that's simple interest and not compound interest, simple interest is due on a loan of $120 for 2 years if the annual rate of interest is 5.5%. Okay, so let us type this out because this is a very classical question to type out in AI. How much simple interest is due on a loan of $120. So AI is supposed to recognize that symbol, the dollar sign, for 2 days, for 2 years, sorry, if the annual rate of interest is 5.5%. So I'm going to write the word 5.5. Okay. The worded version of this symbol, 5.5%. So let's see what AI will provide for us as a solution. So it is thinking, and it says the simple interest due on that loan, okay, is $13.20. So the question is asking for simple interest. Okay, let's see if this is an option. Here it is, $13.20. So let us read the steps as to how this was calculated. So step number 1, you have to convert the interest rate to a decimal. So the annual interest rate is 5.5%. So another way of representing 5.5, instead of putting 5 and 1 over 2, is 5 and 0.5. Okay, so a half, decimal version of a half is 0.5. So it's 5 plus 0.5, that is 5.5%. So you can convert this percentage to a decimal for use in calculations. So percentage means that you have a denominator of 100. So that's what the percentage sign means. As you can see, it looks like 100 twisted. You have the line, that's the 1 and 2 zeros. And it looks like a division, so it goes in the denominator. Okay, they most likely design the percentage sign using the 100 symbols, 2 circles and a line. And you slant the line and you put the 2 circles, and it almost looks like a division slanted in a way because the division sign is a line and 2 dots, one above, one below. So anytime you see a percentage sign, you have to remember 100 goes under that number. So that's 5.5 divided by 100. When you divide it by 100, you just shift the decimal point 2 places towards the left. So the rate is 0.055. So that's the first step. Now, step number 2, now you have to calculate the simple interest. So we have to know that the formula for simple interest is I is equal to PRT, where P is the principal amount, R, and R is the annual interest rate as a decimal, and T is the time in years. Okay, so now that just reminds me that CXC is going to give you a list of formulas, and not all the formulas that you need to know will be in the list. Okay, so let's take a look at the list of formulas to see if this formula will be in the list. Now remember, we said you need to create your formula book, which includes all the formulas that CXC will give you and all the formulas you need to know off your mind. Here's the document that I created, CTEC and CSEC Math Continuous Practice, May 2026, structured and multiple choice. So we are discussing the structured And here's the list of formula. And as you can see, you have volumes, you have circumference, you have arc length, you have areas, you have the roots of a quadratic, you have trigonometry, sine, cosine, and tangent, you have the area of triangles, you have the sine rule and the cosine rule. So there is no mention of simple interest formula. Okay. I think there's the area of the trapezium. Right, with the area of the trapezium, we came across the trapezium already. Let us see. Where was that? And this was in question number 4, which has both a trapezium and a triangle. Okay, so the area of a triangle and the area of a trapezium, they are both can be found in the list of formulas. And here they are. Area of trapezium is a half a plus b times h. And there are 3 formulas for area of triangle. Okay, half base times height, half ab sine c, and this formula here, which is a plus b plus c. If you have all the 3 sides, etc., divide by 2, and that's s, and then you substitute it into this formula. Okay, but the rest of the formulas you need to know, you have to remember it off your head. So that's why it's a good idea to have this list of formula printed, have it with you as much as possible, to know all the formulas, understand them in this list, because that's going to be your one of the best friend in the exam. But you must also have another list that you need to know off your head. Okay, and as you can see, the simple interest is not in this list, so you have to know this formula off your head. So here it is, capital I for interest, P for principal, R for rate, and T for time in years. I is equal to PRT. So please write it down in a list of formulas and learn this off your mind. Okay. So it continues. Let me repeat. The formula for simple interest is I is equal to PRT, where P is the principal amount, the first amount, R is the rate, the interest rate, okay, the annual interest rate, and T is the time in years. So the interest now will be $120 because the principal is $120 times the rate, which is 0.055 times 2 years, and this is 6.6 times 2. So the interest is 13.2. So you need to take out your calculators, your pen, your pencil, your practice book, your formula book, have all these things organized, okay? Your list of formulas that CXC is going to give you, and then you do what you've got to do. Check out your list of formulas CXC is going to give you. Check out your list of formulas in your formula book. Make sure you include it in your formula book, and your practice book. You practice what you are actually witnessing. So the answer is 13.2. The interest accumulated after 2 years, the simple interest. So the answer is B, $13.20.